pulling a tray of warm cookies out of the oven, and before you even take a bite, you already feel lighter, calmer, and just overall better. That little mood shift isn't just because they look cute and delicious. Your brain is firing off feel-good hormones the moment you start baking. Baking isn't just about the treats, it taps into the same part of the brain that spark pleasure, focus, and comfort. Since all of you know how chaotic life gets, understanding why such a simple activity feels so soothing can help you appreciate your own stress relief habits a little more. I've been baking for a few years, running my own small baking business, and I have experienced this mood boost myself countless times, and researching the science behind it helps me understand exactly what's happening in my brain when I'm mixing, measuring, or waiting for something to rise. Today, I'll explain how baking triggers dopamine and how it reduces stress by lowering cortisol, and how the sensory and mindful nature of baking helps the brain feel calm and accomplished. Let's start with the brain chemical most people associate with feeling good, dopamine. Baking triggers a release of dopamine, the brain's pleasure and motivation chemical. According to Harvard Health Publishing, simple pleasurable activities, including cookies baking, can activate a dopamine rush. This means that before you eat the baked goods, the process primes the brain to feel happy and rewarded. Dopamine also boosts motivation, which explains why many people feel energized or excited to keep baking. It creates a positive feedback loop. The more satisfying baking feels, the more your brain wants to repeat it. The act of planning, organizing ingredients, and completing steps can activate dopamine because it's linked to goal-oriented behavior. Now that we've looked at how baking boosts pleasure and motivation, let's talk about how it lowers stress. Baking can reduce stress by lowering cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. According to Northern Healthcare, baking has found to relieve stress, and studies on creative activities show a direct connection to reduced cortisol levels. This positions baking not just as a hobby, but as an evidence-based stress release activity. The repetitive motions in baking, like stirring or kneading, can physically slow the body's stress response. When stress hormones decrease, people often feel calmer, more grounded, and more focused. The structured nature of baking gives the brain something predictable to follow, which reduces anxiety by providing a sense of control. Beyond the brain chemicals, baking also works its magic through the sensory aspect itself. Baking provides a sensory-rich, mindful experience that promotes calm and a sense of accomplishment. Psychologist Ankita Gucci wrote in Psychology Today that the rhythm of stirring, the smell of vanilla extract, all keeps you in the moment. Mindfulness naturally quiets stress pathways and brings the brain into a calmer state. The sensory elements, like the smell, texture, warmth, and taste, activates parts of the brain linked to comfort and memory. This helps explain why baking often feels nostalgic or emotionally soothing. Completing a baking project, even something small, gives the brain a sense of accomplishment, which enhances mood. Now that we've explored all the ways baking affects the brain, let's wrap everything up. We learned that baking triggers dopamine, lowers stress by reducing cortisol, and creates a mindful, sensory-rich experience that boosts relaxation and emotional well-being. So next time you find yourself mixing batter or smelling cakes in a warm oven, remember that it's not just your sweet tooth celebrating, it's your brain throwing a little thank you party, one happy chemical at a time.